Okay. Meeting is called to order. Please rise to salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call of members, please.
Councilmember Southwick. Here. Councilmember Boyd.
Here.
Councilmember Hunter.
Here.
Supervisor Trombley.
Here.
And Councilmember Moore is absent.
Thank you. Everybody has the minutes from September 10th. Look a motion to approve them as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes on September 10th.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Any revisions required? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, this period is for presentations of petitions, communications, and general question period for members of the community. Please limit it to 5 minutes. Please state your name and address before you speak so we know who you are and where you're from.
Okay.
Who would like to begin?
Okay. First, this is very difficult for me. I'm not really a complainer, so I'd like to start by saying good evening and thank you all for allowing me to address the board. My name is Mary Locken-Terwilliger. For those of you who don't know me, I graduated from NCCS and I live in the town of Champlain until I moved to Florida. Jill Pettinger-Sterling and I have been attempting to address the same concerns that I'm going to bring you tonight to the zoning board, although the last meeting was canceled at the last minute, and after 11 hours we weren't able to speak, so we decided at least I could speak now before I have to get back to Florida. I'm going to start with a bit of personal history. I spent my summers at Point of Fair since I was born. My family still has a camp at the Point, and in 2017 my husband and I were very excited to realize our dreams and purchase a cabin. This allowed us to spend summers at the lake with friends and family. The character of Point of Fair, if you've never been there, is quite unique. For the most part, it remains the same as when I grew up, and it has been that way for a very long time. There are a few new homes on very large lots, but most of the camps remain on the small lots. I have some pictures I'll share with you afterwards in the event of time. I'm here to make you aware that a house is being constructed next to my property in which we believe is in violation of zoning laws. I live adjacent to the property at 372 Point of Fair Road. As seasonal residents, my husband and I were shocked as we watched a construction project of which we were not informed grow excessively. The property is on an undersized lot that is measured 76 feet wide on the lake and 35 feet wide on the road. As this construction escalated, we realized the size of this new construction seemed too big for the lot. We began to research, because obviously I have no reason to know the laws, because I wasn't building, and found that a permit to demolish the original home of 924 square feet was issued in April. However, it was demolished sometime in December, and this seemed a little strange to us. As the construction proceeded and neighbors were continuing speaking about the huge size of the new build, as well as pointing out how it does not fit into the character of the neighborhood, we began to research the zoning laws. Imagine to our surprise when we discovered not only was the house too big visually, it is in violation of the town of Champlain zoning laws. The building is being constructed 9 feet from our side property line and less than 8 feet from our neighbor on the other side's property line. There was no building permit displayed. Jill Pettinger-Sterling, who also lives there seasonally, raised our issues with the town. She contacted them asking about a building permit and requested other information via a FOIL request. This request dated August 23rd still has not been completely complied with. Additionally, I called the town informing them that I did not see a building permit displayed, and if one had been issued, it must have been issued mistakenly. Because according to Article 130-48-B, it states, existing buildings located on undersized lots of record may be reconstructed to occupy the same ground area as the original structure. The town answered that they felt the building permit was fair, claiming, and I quote, "As far as 130-48B, it has been standard practice to allow the ground area to be expanded upon, as long as the setback requirements are met. Example, the side lot setback is no less than the original, and the rear or front back setbacks remain within code." I also informed the town that we did not receive a notice of a variance, which is not in compliance with 130-47C. Existing buildings located on underside lots of record may be expanded without the issue of a variance, provided that the minimum front, side, and rear building setbacks are met, and the maximum building coverage and open space are met. In an additional email where I questioned the lack of the issue of a variance, the answer was, they believe the rear of the building by the lake was within its 15-foot side setback. This again demonstrated deficiency of knowledge by the ZEO. The side setbacks in the Champlain Code 190-9 are listed as 20 feet, not 15. So, I am a law-abiding citizen, and I believe that it's important for everybody to enforce the law fairly. Unfortunately, once we began to research, we found that it is not being enforced fairly. We have given the town several chances to change their decision and are very disappointed in the response. There were no survey posts, so my neighbor and I paid to have a property survey, and we were shocked by the results. The new build is significantly bigger than the original cottage, and I have a copy of the survey. I am an optimist, and I honestly believe that given the information and opportunity, people will do what is just and fair. Obviously, when it comes to the zone enforcement officer, I have misplaced my trust. My neighbor and I have raised this issue with the CEO and the ZBA, and they will not follow the law as it is clearly written. From a review of the Town of Champlain applicability articles and documents obtained pursuant to a FOIL request, along with an independent survey signed and sealed by a New York State licensed surveyor, the new house is significantly closer to the west lot line, has been expanded in area, and is within the setback to the high water line. The construction project needs to be stopped immediately. My neighbor and I have demanded enforcement of the law to no avail. We filed an appeal with the ZBA and intend to do whatever it takes to protect our property values, our homes, our safety, and I think more importantly, to protect our community from overbuilding, which will negatively affect Point of Fair, all the properties. Consider this, I wanted to make a formal speaking so that everybody is aware of this, because I'm not sure what's happening, that we're getting absolutely getting put in circles. According to the article, Zoning Enforcement, a Local Government Technical Series, the ZEO's power is limited to enforce the law as it is written. The ZEO has no power to modify or waive zoning regulations. Due to the lack of cooperation with the ZEO, we've had to hire counsel to help us persuade the town to enforce their own laws and protect our properties. We are just all hoping that you can help us stop this construction project that is not meant to be, and it is illegal as far as we can tell. I just want to thank you very much for taking the time to listen, because it's been really hard when you want to come to meetings and then they're canceled and then you have to wait, and we obviously would like to be back in Florida protecting our home right now, and instead we're here at this meeting. I really am still anticipating a positive outcome for our predicament, and I don't feel comfortable doing this to a neighbor, but it's not the neighbor's fault. It's the town's, because they shouldn't have issued the permit in the first place, and I think it's awful to be put in this situation.
So Mary, you and I have spoke, so it's nice to meet you.
Thank you.
The step is the appeal to the zoning board. It's their job to review this, determine where it goes, and their attorney as well. And the meeting that was canceled was because there was no business in front of the zoning board.
So Jill and I didn't count as business, because she had called and said we were coming.
You didn't have an appeal filed. You were coming to attend a meeting if there was one, and there wasn't, that's all. It wasn't canceled for any other reason. It was,
Okay.
There was no business on the agenda. And as far as the codes, I've been working with this from the start. I feel that we have followed them, and we'll just have to let the process go through to find out if we're wrong. or correct. But it's really the zoning board that has to address this.
I just wish in the meantime, I don't know, I can't say I agree with you. I don't
How do
know.
we get on the agenda for the zoning board?
Oh, we are, for the
You are.
next
Oh,
one.
we are for the next one?
We filed
Okay.
Oh, yes, you're definitely on the agenda now, how can you file the appeal?
Okay.
But at the time, when I was speaking to Mary and Jill, they asked if they could attend the meeting, I said, absolutely, I told them what it was, but there was nothing on the agenda, so there was no
Okay.
reason,
We
no
didn't know
reason to
to
bring the
file
board
an
together.
appeal, I didn't understand that.
It just seemed a little, I don't know.
So I'm sorry, that was a
Odd to us.
misunderstanding. It was
It was
not
a
canceled.
misunderstanding, I didn't understand I had to file an appeal, I didn't know meetings were just canceled. We didn't expect that, so she drove 11 hours.
Well, if there's nothing to discuss at the meeting, we don't have a meeting. I mean, if we don't have any applications or
Right.
anything before the board, there's no reason to meet, so. And usually we require stuff in advance, so I can send it to the members, so they have it before the actual meeting.
Right,
And I had nothing to send anybody, so.
I understand that
Okay.
now, I
We
did
got-
not
we got you now.
understand that
But-
before.
But we're ready to go on the next one, right? We were all on the
Yes.
list, is it,
Yeah,
got to
next
go?
is
Okay.
good.
Next
17th.
Thursday, the 17th.
You'll fly out.
Do you have anything to add, sir?
No, I don't, no.
Okay. Anybody else need to address the board in any way?
Can I show what I,
You-
so that at
you
least
certainly
somebody,
can.
'cause
Yes, you certainly can.
I just
Brought
would
it
think
there,
it-
you can show.
shows a better picture of what I'm talking about, that I'm not just this crazy lady. So this is just some of the, this is what large buildings are on lots that measure 150 to over 200 feet. I know this, it's just my phone, but. And then this is the situation, what we've gone from to this. And these are 3 other little cabins, so I don't want a precedent started. And if this occurs everywhere, it's not what those properties are meant for. And that's why those articles are there, to prevent little, and here, see all these little ones, they could just, once this happens, it can happen again and again, and it's a country road, it's not a development.
So I welcome the board to read those sections of code, because the one she refers to does state that about ground space. And then the very next article talks about how if you stayed in the same footprint, you're allowed to extend if it's within those current setbacks. And that's not actually not the word, it's the word that's used, in such setbacks. The way I've interpreted it as the setbacks that were there. So,
Can we ask for the statement that was given? I take it you were reading that, can that be sent to us so we can have a copy of it? Right.
Mhm.
yeah, it's
Thank
a-
you.
I can
That's a good
email that.
request.
Who do I send it to in particular?
Probably would be to Julie,
Julie?
might be the best
Okay.
place to send it? Yeah.
Correct.
And I have a,
Then you can forward it off to all of us, please.
there's other issues, but I guess they'll come up at the next one. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks for that.
Feels better at least speaking my
Has any
mind.
address to the board, we're gonna move on. So now we're gonna, I need a motion to recess the regular meeting and open the public hearing for local law number 5 of 2024, the override of the tax levy.
Make a motion to end the regular meeting and
Open public hearing.
go to open the public hearing.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So this public hearing is for local law number 5 of 2024 to override the tax levy limit established in general municipal law subsection 3-C. Whereas is in the attempt of this local law to override the limit on the amount of real property taxes that may be levied by the town of Champlain pursuant to general municipal law subsection 3-C. And whereas this will allow the town of Champlain to adopt a budget for fiscal year 2025 that requires a real property tax levy in excess of the tax levy limit as defined by general municipal law subsection 3C. Please note that this is done as a means of being prepared in case we end up over. We are always just squeaking under our 2%. And during the budget process, it's very easy to think that you're ready to go, and then at the last final hour before we set the budget, an extra bill comes in and pushes us over. It's as simple as our EDUs coming in, they count against our tax cap. So that's all it would take since we're always running so close. So please, this is just in preparation in case we are not planning on being excessive. Does anyone have any questions in regards to that? Other than my funny explanation?
You might want to add that this is a standard procedure.
It's been a standard procedure for the town for a lot of years because of that. Because what would happen is if you think you're going to make it and then at the last minute you don't, then you get dinged for being in excess. This way you are actually allowed to continue on with no fouls. That essentially is it. And yes, we've been doing this every year just in case, because it's very difficult. I'll give you an example. Would be our EMS costs. That's a contract. And when that increases, that comes out of our allowance for our tax cap. That hurts us. So it makes it very difficult when you have large increases in costs such as that, even though that's an in and out, even though that gets taxed out on our tax bill and all that money gets returned in, it's still calculated against the cap. So things like that make it very difficult to stay under. So that's why it's a standard practice.
Not just here, and also multiple municipalities all over New York State.
Correct.
After the changes were made to how budgets can be arrived at.
Yes, and it's gotten worse over time because 2% is a very small number these days. When you're seeing 4 and 5% increases in expenses and you're held to a 2% cap, it's difficult. Very difficult to budget. Any questions or comments in regards to the public hearing? Okay. Then we will address the law under new business, and we'll move back out of public hearing, back into a regular business meeting.
I'll make a motion that we exit public hearing and return back to the regular business meeting.
I'll second
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Report from the supervisor. Good evening, everybody. October 26th, we will be holding a Halloween fun run. This will be our second one. Hopefully we can make this annually. So we've scheduled this 3/5K run/walk on our Harry McManus Northern Tier Rec Trail. This is an event for both town and both villages. It's a $15 entry fee per person or $40 per family of 3 or more. The registration is at 9 a.m. and kids run starts at 9:30. So there'll be a kids run on a portion of the cross-country trail behind the school. The 3K will simply be the same as last year. It'll run from just west of Lawrence Paquette Boulevard out to Prospect, turn around and come back. If anyone wants to run the 5K, there will be an additional 2K on the cross-country trail itself, totaling 5K. Since this is a Halloween fun run, Costumes are encouraged. Dora, you're helping, you're coming in costume, right?
I don't need to come in a costume, I'm already wearing it.
All proceeds from this event will go towards the Outdoor Fitness Center for Bob Venn Park. And details can be found on our website and our Facebook page, and we've got flyers up all over the place. Next is the Next Trex Plastics Program. To date, we've collected approximately 776 pounds of plastic. We need to collect approximately 224 more pounds to reach our goal by mid-November. So please bring those plastic bags, those Ziplocs, those freezer bags, the food liners, the shrink wrap, the Amazon packing that you get, the envelopes that have the bubble wrap inside the envelope, that's all acceptable. Basically, anything that has any stretch to it at all. You know, it's not like some of your vegetable bags for frozen vegetables that are very brittle, those aren't allowed. But please help us reach that goal. We really don't want to miss it, because the way this works is you have to collect 1,000 pounds in 12 months. It'd be a shame to get this far and miss it. So please help us out. You can also visit our Facebook page or call for details if you want more details. Reports on projects. New York State Pro Housing Designation. The Pro Housing Communities Program provides a certification program for local governments that are taking action to support housing growth to address the housing shortage throughout the state. Obtaining certification is now required to be eligible for specific discretionary funding grants, and it's many of them. Happy to announce that we have been approved, and the town of Champlain is now designated as a pro-housing community. Carden Road Bridge. Construction is ongoing, therefore please be aware of the equipment and workers when traveling on Dubois Road during this project. The expected date for completion has been moved to the end of November, and this is due to a delay in delivery of the bridge railings and guardrails. So they're hoping by the first week of November to have everything pretty well completed, except the guardrails, and they won't open it until it's complete. Comprehensive plan revision. You should have received postcards explaining our community survey. If you have completed it, we thank you. If not, please complete it before the end of this month. Please visit the Town of Champlain website for a link to the survey if you have not, if you've misplaced the postcard or cannot scan the QR code. Please call the Town or Village of Champlain offices for hard copies at 518-298-8160 and 518-298-4152 respectively.
And that does not include the Village of Rouse's Point residents, right?
That is correct. This is for Town of Champlain residents. It's for anyone that's within the Town of Champlain. In some of the outskirts areas of Rouse's Point, you do reside in the town. So if you're within the town and you pay town taxes and not village tax, please fill out the survey. This is the best way to put it. So this is your town, and your opinions and thoughts will be valuable in guiding the direction of this town for the future. The next comprehensive planning committee will be November 13th. These committee meetings are closed meetings, however, there will be open public meetings scheduled periodically throughout the process to gain feedback from the community. The first community meeting is planned for December 5th from 5:30 through 7:30. It'll be held at the Champlain Catholic Men's Club in Champlain, and it will be posted on the event page of our website as we get closer. It'll also be in the comp plan tab. The project timelines, meeting minutes, any public sessions, and general information on the comp plan are available through a link on our website. Please visit our website periodically to keep informed. The Miramar properties. The 19 acres with the mall, we are still continuing to investigate our funding options, and we'll be having conversations with the owners on forming a plan to remove this hazardous and dilapidated building. This is ongoing, and this will take an extended period of time. The 22 acres to the north of the mall that was submitted for housing, I've been informed the funding was secured to complete a countywide feasibility study, and a firm has been retained to complete the study, and it is ongoing. In process, I should say. Clinton County IDA and Lake George, Lake Champlain Regional Planning are working on this. So we're still hoping for a report in the coming months. The Bob Venn Fitness Center project, the DASI application is in review stage currently, and this may take several months to complete. I have recently provided further documentation as per the reviewer's requests. The equipment for the fitness court will not be purchased until funding is approved. Weather and time permitting, will begin the excavation and site preparation. And if the funding is granted before fall, installation could begin this year. I think that's slim to none. But if the funding is granted before fall, we will at least be able to order the equipment. So let me change that. The Great Shazy River Project. The team met with the Army Corps of Engineers on August 21st, determined that a study is required, and Barton and Judas is currently preparing a proposal for a feasibility study for dredging. We just recently gave them some depth data. They are working on this. I'm hoping in a few months we'll have a study completed. Clinton County Health Department, complete streets. We'll begin to work on installing improvements to our streets and recreation trails soon. This is dependent on the highway department and their schedules. But the things left to be done are, there's a crosswalk at Church Street and South Street to increase safety that needs to be installed. Solar lighting has been installed, and new Sharrow markings need to be added along the trail on Prospect. Shade trees have been planted at Paris Mills Park. And no parking signs and benches need to be installed there as well. Our interpretive marker and garden area. We have completed the small flower and shrub area to display our interpretive marker from the town's 225th year anniversary. It is located on the north side of the town office building. Come and check it out, it looks great. So, it was nice work. Public announcements. St. Mary's Parish is hosting a defensive driving course October 12th at 9 a.m. at the St. Mary's Parish Center on Church Street in Champlain. You can pre-register by calling 518-747-2724 and please arrive at least 10 minutes early. And this is open to both residents and non-residents of the town and village of Champlain. It's for the whole. It's open to the public. And then the town of Champlain is hosting a defensive driving course on November 2nd. So if you can't make the first one, you have a second choice. Again, it's at 9 a.m. You can pre-register by calling 518-747-2724. And again, it's open to the public. It's open to both residents and non-residents. And that's being held here at this town office. The Lions Club is continually collecting used eyeglasses to help those with vision impairment. They can be dropped off at the Plattsburgh Library and any Walmart Vision Center. Please visit our website and Facebook page for information on events going on around the town. And the town would like to appoint more alternates to the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Planning Board, so please consider serving the town in this capacity, as we need talented citizens of this township to become involved and assist us in moving forward. Please contact me if you have any interest for details. And please feel free to stop in. I'll be happy to discuss the town's projects and objectives with you. My door is always open, but it may be best to call first, as there are many appointments and meetings that fill my schedule. And thank you to all veterans and active military men and women for your service. And also thank you to all first responders, both paid and volunteer, of our EMS and fire departments, and our police officers for your dedication to our community. Thank you. Reports from the council members. Council member Southwick, could we start with you?
You may. There was no business to address at the October meeting for the planning board. The next meeting is planned for November 7th. Should there be any business to discuss, that is held here at the town office at 5:30. Do you want me to address the Bob Venn Park sign? or would you like me to do that later?
I'll do that in old business.
Okay, and then that's all I have to report.
Okay. Yeah, looking forward to hearing that. If it's on old business, we'll take care of it there.
Okay,
Well, thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Councilmember Moore.
All right, I'll start with the zoning board of appeals. As we heard earlier, there was no meeting in September, but the next scheduled meeting is for Thursday, October 17th at 5:30 right here at the town office. And the meeting is open to the public, so October 17th. Marketing committee update, we've had some contact with the Boyer Benner Group. Discussion about the current contract and the things that have been accomplished. We just had a meeting yesterday to discuss the contract for next year, and what that plan is and the budget amount. So we're waiting to get that back from them, what they will charge for their services for the coming year and what that will include. We also had filming that was done. Chris Bohr was here with the helpful efforts of Councilmember Southwick, myself, and the supervisor. So they're in the process of editing, as well as going to 5 different businesses. Is that correct?
That's correct.
5 different businesses and getting interviews with those businesses, and they're in the process of putting all of that together. We hopefully will have something to look at sooner rather than later. So it was fun. It's testimonial. It's good. The next thing is, and this goes for anybody that is here or if you're out there listening, we're looking for suggestions on what we should be videoing for next year, for whether it's a business or whether it's a location, as well as any still photography, so a specific spot, time, location, those kinds of things. We're looking for any suggestions as part of our marketing campaign for the town. We are also in the process of trying to compile lists of things that we need or stuff that we're unaware of that we can help use to promote. And we're also coming up with some ideas to try to involve the township in creating some fun content for us. So more to come on that. Update on Hometown Hero banners. Currently, they're still up along Route 9, 9B, and Route 11. They've been up since Memorial Day. They'll be up until Veterans Day, so about another month or so. Want to thank Champlain Technology Group for their help in putting the banners up and for their help in taking the banners down. But our application is open right now, and if you'd like an application, you can find it on our website, townofchamplain.com. You can also call Sarah here at the town office, 518-298-8160, extension 201, and those applications again are open for anybody looking for a banner for 2025. And again, thanks to Sarah for all the work she does with the Hometown Heroes program. We had our last food truck evening. That was in September the 18th with Cousins Maine Lobster. We want to give a huge shout out to all of the food trucks that participated. We went from March until September this year. It was by far our largest food truck season, and we feel it was a huge success. The next one is scheduled for spring of 2025. And of course, always be checking our Facebook page for events, including our food trucks, and a lot of thanks to Sarah Gagno for helping organize our food trucks throughout the year. Currently working on trying to figure out what our options are for audio-visual equipment to make our meetings better recorded in terms of sound, possibly visual. So we're looking into that for the changing. Of course, this also includes some live streaming of the meetings as well. Some special events coming up. It is Halloween season. Bumpkins Halloween. They have 3 different events going on. This is at the 148 Olena Road in West Shazy. Check their Facebook page out for events, but they have a special needs Halloween night on October 18th at 4. A Kids Day on October 19th at 1, and a Haunted Trail on October 26th. beginning at 5. So come do the fun run, and then you can go to the haunted trail. They raise money for North Country Honor Flight, so this is a great event to bring the kids to, and if you just like getting scared, well, have at it. Trunk or Treat to the Village of Champlain is on Saturday, October 26th from 1 to 2:30. So fun run, trunk or treat, then go to the trail. It's a great day of Halloween events. That's going to be at the Clark Hurdick Playground in the Village of Champlain. Champlain Memorial Library is doing their carved pumpkin contest on October 27th, starting at 5:30. Bring your carved pumpkin, and they're going to have a judging. So it's the 5th time they've done it, so it's pretty fun. Just a reminder, I saw a posting by the Clinton County Health Department that you should be testing your detectors, both smoke and CO2 detectors, once a month. But we're also getting to the time period where we're turning the clocks back, a great time to change the batteries in those devices. And Home Energy Assistance Program, or HEAP, will be accepting applications starting November 1st. So for eligibility requirements and other information about the program, please visit the Clinton County Department of Social Services Financial Assistance Programs on their website, clintoncountiny.gov. And finally, election season is upon us. So final day to register to vote for the general election is October 26th. That's the last day. So if you want to vote in the November election, the 26th is the last day to register in New York State. Early voting in New York State for the general election begins on October 26th. So a very unique scenario. You can actually register to vote that day in person, and you can vote in person at the county building. That's a unique scenario. So if you want to register and vote on the same day, you can do it this year. And early voting will go through November 3rd. So October 26th through the 3rd is early voting at the Clinton County Government Center in Plattsburgh. And they have hours. I'm not going to list them because I've talked way too long, but maybe I'll get with Sarah and we can get that on our website. So the hours are available at the Clinton County website, so clintoncountiny.gov. And that's it. So ends my report.
Awesome. Thank you. Councilmember Hunter.
Let's start off with the Champlain Fire Department. Will be holding their annual pancake breakfast on October 20th from 7 a.m. till noon. Adults, it's $11, seniors $10, children between the ages of 6 and 12, it's $5, and if you're under the age of 5 or under, you are free. Also, the Champlain Fire Department is continuing to work on the dry hydrants. They've received the parts for the 3 hydrants that need repairs, and those installs should be taking place in the next couple of weeks. The Rouse's Point Fire Department will be holding a pulled pork barbecue on November 10th. You do have to actually purchase tickets, and please take a look at the Village of Rouse's Point's website as well as the town's website for further information in regards to that pulled pork barbecue. Also, the Rouse's Point Fire Department will be holding their semi-annual breakfast on October 27th from 8 a.m. until noon. The Village of Rouse's Point will be actually holding their fall cleanup on October 21st through October 25th. Please keep in mind that there is no pickup for paint cans, tires, stumps, waste oil, stone, cement, or wood. It is primarily just looking at leaves and branches up to 3 inches in diameter. You must put all of the leaves in a biodegradable paper bag for yard waste, and plastic bags will not be accepted. So, also the Village of Rouse's Point on October 14th, which is Columbus Day, the offices will be closed, so please do not try to stop at the village office. And the upcoming Village of Rouse's Point Board meeting will be held on October 21st. And my last announcement is the Rouse's Point Dodge Memorial Library is looking for members. And if you're interested, please call 518-297-6242. No other information in regards to EDUs or grants at this time.
Thank you. Okay, thank you all for the reports. Report from the town clerk.
You have my monthly report
Mhm.
for approval.
I make a motion that we approve the town clerk's report for September 1st through September 30th. Total local shares remitted is in the amount of $828.15. Total non-local revenues, $2,594.45.
I'll second.
Correct. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Signed copy?
And you have your utility billing register that needs approval for the water bills to go out.
I'm gonna ask my question, Julie. Any changes?
Nope.
No.
Still at the 182 accounts.
No additions this month. Okay, I make a motion to approve the water billing register as presented.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? No, we're gonna do roll call then. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the review of the post audit bills, the abstract. Have any questions? If not, then we'll move on to the approval of the monthly bills that will be paid.
With the additions, right?
Yes, there are additional bills totaling, additionals total $6,767.98, giving us a grand total of $79,400.98. The additionals were for Edmunds GovTech, First Republican for Public Notice, UDIG fees, and Verizon Wireless.
And these additional ones with the GovTech, is that just what we owe for a balance for the year, or is it the remainder of the contract, or?
Annual?
Yeah,
Edmunds,
yeah,
that is our software for the year.
yes.
Yeah.
So for the rest of 2024? Or
2020
going into 25?
Yes,
Got it, okay.
That's for the payroll and utility software.
So the billing on that comes due in October?
normally November, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying, but for us to pay it
I see.
on timely,
Yep, I got it. That amount's correct. I'm assuming it's correct.
It is.
Okay.
This page is?
Yeah,
It is.
it is. Just making sure.
It's been checked.
I'll make a motion that we approve the bills in the total amount of $79,400.98.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, should we do a roll call, please?
Councilmember Southwick,
Aye.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter, Supervisor Tremblay.
Aye. Thank you, Joy. Okay. Now, you have copies of the report from the codes enforcement officer. Are there any questions? You happen to have him here tonight. This is perfect opportunity. No questions? Okay. We'll move on.
I have a question, if I may. Is that a public document, or, sorry?
Yeah, I guess, can be. I don't see why it can't be.
Okay,
If you want to see them after, you're more than welcome to.
okay, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for holding that, Mary.
It's not easy.
Report from the dog control officer. Let's see, not as bad as last month, but busy enough. Any questions I need to bring to his attention? And as far as from the highway superintendent, they are currently hauling sand for Moore's. As you know, they moved all their sand here in the springs now, and we have to refill them as they built their new shed. So it's a shared service going on. Any correspondence? We have your EMS report, which shows total average response time of 2.16 minutes. In September was 2.14. And total calls for Champlain, Moore's, and Rouse's Point was 114. We have started communications. And I provided you with the annual training. I'm not planning on attending this year. Sometime when I have time, it might be a possibility, but if anybody has grave interest, let me know and we'll talk about it.
This is, yeah, the one in February.
This is the one in New York. It's an expense. I'm told by other town supervisors that, it is valuable if you choose the right places to be at the right time, and go there with the intent of learning. I wish they would provide more, Zoom meetings, more, like they did during COVID. I thought that was very useful, very easy to attend. I have a letter from the state of New York for homes and community renewal. This is for the pro housing. And then first thing under new business is the Champlain EMS agreement with the town.
Tom, can we just let the public, realize in terms of this homes and community renewal, I'm not so sure a lot of people are familiar with some of the statistics in regards to, in New York State, how much rent has gone up since 2015, but it's risen between 40 and 60%. And not only have we seen increases there, but also in terms of home prices have risen between 50 and 80%. And the number of New Yorkers that are renters, that are rent burdened, that actually pay more than 30% of their income to rent is the second highest in the nation. So
Good point, Rick, thank you.
that's something I just think
That's all in the first paragraph.
people need to kind of recognize what this country is going through in regards to housing.
Thanks for bringing that up.
You're right, and you made a point, it's not just a New York problem, it's a
No.
national problem.
It is.
And this other paragraph, as a certified pro-housing community, the town of Champlain will now be eligible to apply for various discretionary funding programs with up to $650 million in funding available. So, please be on the lookout for additional details on how to maintain your certification for calendar year 2025. So we are gonna have to maintain that database, and I think I did receive something very recently that they loaded an update in there, so I'll take a look at that. In other words, our building permits, et cetera, have to be entered. Okay, back to the Champlain EMS agreement. I know that, the old, address of 729 is in here. I brought it up to Cody's attention, he said he would fix it for the next contract, he wasn't concerned with this now, so I'll just make a hand change to it. If you guys give me approval to sign. I wanna point out that Dorsey had a conversation today, and under page 2 under compensation, I will put in the email once this is signed, that we will expect a biannual, report. If you look under 3B, they say they will give us biannual reports of the fees collected. And I don't remember getting that. Other than that, were you satisfied with the answers and the questions that we posed to the EMS? So I guess all we would look for is a motion to approve entering into the agreement. That's all we need.
I'll make the motion to approve the agreement with Champlain EMS, with the town of Champlain, as written.
As written, with a note to make sure we
With
get
the notes.
those reviews. Correct?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so next is, short form agreement. So we still got something in one spot. So it's a short form of agreement between owner and engineer for personal services. This is with AES. That is, we previously had one which recently expired at the end of July. If you remember right, we entered that a couple years ago. We were in the booster station project, et cetera. It's essentially the same, and this is put us in line with all their engineering services, but of course it's brought to our attention because we're looking at the grant writing at this current time. So again, I would welcome a motion to allow me to sign that and enter into that short form agreement. Which I don't even have a copy of it for some reason.
I'll make a motion that we give approval for the signature on the agreement between the town of Champlain and AES. This is AES project number 5380. It's the annual term contract.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Is everybody involved in that, so just gonna, all in favor? Any further discussion, I should say?
I noticed on the last page,
Appendix?
where it talks about the rates are all subject to change
Mm-hmm.
in December
And this is for,
for the year,
For the year.
October first through. I
correct.
just found it interesting.
And I
that-
think when you go to the, letter of authorization, does that talk about, I don't have it in front of me, so
Mhm.
it makes it hard to speak to it. Does that talk about rates as well? Hourly rates, or is it only in the short form?
No, it's in there.
It's in both, right?
It does under payments,
Correct.
Right.
not to exceed.
Right. So those would all be addressed individually. Once we enter these agreements, if we find a funding that we want to apply for, and we hire AES to do that at that time, we will agree to a estimate of charges.
Okay.
So I have a question then in regards to, as we start to take a look at the grant aspect, are we looking at both a grant manager and a grant administrator? Notice in the actual appendix one, there's engineering
Mhm.
standard hourly rates. One is at $105 an hour, one is at $115. What are we looking at as we move forward with them for
It-
grants?
It would be primarily that manager rate at 105.
Okay, 115.
Yep. There could be, I suppose, grants large enough where the administrator may need to assist, and we could end up having
Having
charges.
105. Okay.
Yeah, but it's primarily him. Okay, so I had first and second, any more discussion?
If the rates change, will they send us an updated copy of the rate schedule for 2025?
I'll have to request that.
I did say if.
Like I said, it's hard to do a budget when everything continues to go up.
Yeah, and they wait till the last quarter of the year to make those changes. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, if you're gonna set up a schedule for the year, set it up for the year.
Yeah, I think it's just the timing of us getting at this point. I don't wanna sit on our laurels and wait till after January in case we find a need between now and then. But yes, I'm assuming that's exactly what would take place in the schedule. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we need a motion to accept and sign the letter of authorization from AES Northeast, which describes the engineering rating, the grant rating that we will be going into.
I'll make a motion that we approve the letter of authorization dated September 25th, 2024. This is for an annual period. It will provide on-call grant planning and consultation services for that time period.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any further discussion on that one?
They had two different dates, so Rick said 25, which is what it says at the top. If you read the first line of the authorization request, it says the 27th.
Correct. So when the term agreement is dated, it's 2 days after.
All right, we'll look at into that, I wish I had my copy in front of me. My bad. I didn't put it in the packet. I see that please. So you're referring to the date at the top of the letter.
Correct.
I'm not sure why it says two different dates.
Right. And right below in the first paragraph.
They're always listening. And under one authorization request,
Yeah, and if you go back and look at the other piece that we just approved, it is dated the 25th.
Correct.
So they might want to.
And that's what I went with.
yeah, it might have been that. I will question it. Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
I know I've got one at my desk, but I got that one noted. We have our two motions.
Yes.
We haven't voted. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have the letter from the highway superintendent regarding the Old Bayshard Road. And I need to move something up here for Chris, I'm sorry. I'm gonna back up. We'll come back to number 4, okay? We need to jump ahead to number 9. Chris, I'm sorry.
You're
I was supposed to do this earlier. I'm
That's
getting
fine.
carried away and I'm following my agenda. You have the 80K electrical inspection application, and you also have been copied with a letter, which will always require the input from our code enforcement officer in regards to this. So we need to make a determination if we're approving it. Based on the information I've been provided, I would make a motion that we need to disapprove at this time. Until we get further positive information.
And Tom, for the ones that are in the audience, the copies that we have were done beforehand, that's why you don't see this one on there. And it is my fault, because this came in at
Oh,
a change
last
at the
minute?
end.
Yeah,
Yes.
we revised the agenda last minute, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I would just need a second if anyone agrees with me.
I'll make a second that we disapprove it this time.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. All in favor of this disapproval?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. And he's welcome to reapply at a later date. And then Chris, the other thing I needed you here for, it's not specifically on the agenda, but I provided you with the letter from the village of Champlain. It's in regards to the diamond mapping. And as she stated in here, they decided, based on the cost, is it on 7? Oh, it is, I'm sorry.
It's on there.
Thank you, it's on there. So, on number 7, it's under RAFA systems, I didn't recognize it. So you have a copy of what they got for a price per month, which is $112. Says here, previously $19 per month, upgrading to unlimited users was $131 a month. So they prorated the last 3 months of the year for additional at $112 per month, of $336. So the board last night of the village rescinded the original agreement to add us as unlimited users due to the increase in the costs. But I was disappointed to find out that they use a third party. We need to decide what to do to go forward. We have confirmed with Dyna Mapping that it can be done for under $40. So I'm not sure why this third party gave such a large quote. And they were charging roughly probably $1 or $2 more than what Dyna Mapping would have for the original. It's very confusing. But we did confirm today, we estimated the number of meters. They don't do it by population, they do it by number of users of the water system. And we're waiting, we didn't hear back yet on the exact number. If we get an exact number, I can get an exact quote and then go back to the village board if you would like. That's choice A. And see if they would still consider doing that, and choice B would be to go on our own. So if you want to give that some thought and get back to me, that's fine too, we don't have to decide tonight. But I wanted Chris here just for that, in case you had questions for him in regards to the mapping. And for those of you out there, it's to do with the water system.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this.
I understand.
I'm not sure what to ask. And they said they decided to, they decided to rescind the
Yeah.
agreement because of the cost?
Yes, so in other words, last month they agreed to add us onto their account
Yes.
for unlimited users, because we gave them a quote of $40 for that. And really what we found out, that was, on the website, it's an estimation of up to $40. But then when Mike quoted who they deal with, because they deal with a third party, the third party came back with this, which doesn't even seem reasonable. So naturally, the board last night saw that and decided they, based on the cost, they would have to rescind that motion from last month. And then in Janet's letter, she said that to the water board, the village board has decided to remain with a single user option in the Dyna Mapping software program. The superintendent and code enforcement officer / water operator will work together to share this information. Would you care to speak to that at all? or-
I mean, we need something to map our lines with. All we have right now is paper copies of the as-built that we've already found mistakes on in multiple areas.
So what this is saying is that you have one system to be used by multiple people?
Correct, so right now the village uses it, so they have all their water lines, their shut-offs, and everything mapped on it, but it stops mostly at the village limits. So everything in the town isn't mapped. So by getting us on and getting the equipment we need, we'd be able to map the town and make one large map. Cause the issue comes in some of our areas like Route 11, South Street, those lines that are in the town, the on-off valves are actually in the village. So they have them mapped, but if we had our own system and we're mapping, we don't actually have the valves to turn those lines off mapped, cause they have them mapped. So with one system and limited users, it's easier because you have the whole system. If we go by ourselves, yes, we can map our lines, but you're gonna see a big hole in the middle where the village is, where our lines all go into.
Yeah.
Would they share their information?
I don't know, and that's the question I think we need to go back and ask is, if we were to have our own account, can we take their maps and load them in ours and vice versa?
You
being two
can.
accounts.
Yes, you can, it's if they want to share, yes. you could. We just have to load it in.
Okay, because I didn't know if it had to be the same,
No.
or the same account. Like, example with Essex County, it's one account with multiple users, and they are able to do that.
Right, but we can take their information, just like the fire department, we could take their
That's true.
information and load it into our software.
That's true, because we did determine that, like, the fire department has done this, like, I believe Caleb Trombley is the one that's been heading it up, and labeling all the hydrants, et cetera, that can be overlaid into it. So again, you know, the question is, do we go back, meet again?
I think
try
we have to.
explain?
I think there's a lot of redundancy here, why do we want Chris actually, you know, with the information that's already there? And I just think we need to convince, Mr. Joliker that there is no way that any of his information will be lost.
Well, that, and I think we're gonna have to convince the board that we'll have to get a formal quote to show that it's, you know, it's approximately $30 some odd dollars. Once we get the,
Well, this is for
Exact.
12 months, right? This 336?
no, this is just
Per
for
month?
3 months.
This is for 3 months.
Yeah, that's 3
Because it
months,
says here, prorated 3 months for an additional 112 a month,
correct,
so
yeah.
that's why I'm,
That's the 336, that's to get the rest of the year, and then after that's $131 a month.
I just say,
It
can we
doesn't-
avoid the third party? Can we just go through diamond mapping?
Yes.
Well, that's what
That's what I
we
say
would
we do.
definitely do.
Yes.
I don't know why,
I
Why
don't
would
get,
it go-
I don't get any of this.
No.
I really don't. This doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. That if they went through a third party and they get that rate, and then by adding another person, it increases by that much.
Right.
It just,
And they're still
what
staying
kind
with it?
of, yeah, what kind of business?
Why would you stay with them?
It just,
That doesn't make any sense to me.
don't get it.
I agree, that's why it's in front of you, that's why that quote is in front of you, because it doesn't make any sense to myself as well. So what I'll do then is, let's try one more meeting that we had before,
We can do that.
and that doesn't work, it doesn't work. That sound reasonable?
Yeah, I mean, we're realistically, we won't start mapping until next year anyway.
At
So
this time,
we
yeah.
still have to get the equipment and now wait for snow to come and go.
Yeah, we can still order the
The other piece.
equipment that we needed anyways, we
Right.
need
Correct.
the tracer and
Yep, and the GPS.
okay? All right, thanks, Chris. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's what we'll do with that, we'll write that down, I won't forget. Okay, so back to new business number 4, the letter from Alan, from the highway superintendent regarding Old Bayshard Road. And that, everybody's read that and understand the reasoning behind it. If you don't have any questions, that would bring us to resolution number 43. Why am I missing that? I believe I left it at my desk.
Oh, he's probably the other, not this.
I'm looking for 43, I'm also gonna need 44.
Yeah, we can
I got 'em.
bars.
I got a feeling that if I go to my desk, it stayed there when I picked the pile up, and they were at the bottom. Thank you. So if we go to number 4, we're gonna move on to the resolution. Does that sound right? Okay, resolution number 43. Resolution to abandon the old east section of the Bayshard Road in the town of Champlain. Whereas the town of Champlain has recognized that a section of the Bayshard Road has not been used publicly for nearly 40 years, and whereas the town of Champlain Highway Department has not maintained this section of road during the last 40 years, and whereas the town of Champlain Highway Superintendent has requested in writing to the town board to abandon the old Bayshard Road as per New York State Highway Law, subsection 205, And whereas the section of the Bayshard Road referred to as the Old Bayshard Road is located east of the Canadian Pacific Rail adjacent to New York State Route 9B. And whereas it is situated within two parcels of farmland with parcel ID numbers 49.-2-11 and 49.-2-10.1. And therefore be it resolved that the Board of the Town of Champlain authorizes the abandonment of the Old Bayshard Road in the Town of Champlain. And now, therefore, be it further resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately. Look on the motion to approve said resolution as written.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 43 as read by the supervisor.
Thank you,
I'll second that.
thank you. And any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carries. You got that already too? Or do you need that? Okay. Thank you. The next item up is Resolution 44 to approve local law number 5, 2024, override the tax levy. Resolution number 44 of 2024 to approve local law number 5 of 2024 to override a tax levy limit established in General Municipal Law subsection 3-C. Whereas it is the intent of this local law to override a limit on the amount of real property taxes that may be levied by the Town of Champlain pursuant to General Municipal Law 3-C, and to all the Town of Champlain to adopt a budget for the fiscal year of 2025 that requires a real property tax levy in excess of the tax levy limit as defined by General Municipal Law 3-C. And whereas this local law is adopted pursuant to subdivision 5 of General Municipal Law 3-C, which expressly authorizes the town board to override the tax cap by the adoption of a local law approved by a vote of 60% of the town board. And whereas the town board of the Town of Champlain, County of Clinton is hereby authorized to adopt a budget for fiscal year 2025 that requires a real property tax levy in excess of the amount otherwise prescribed in General Municipal Law 3-C. And whereas if any clause, sentence, paragraph, subdivision, or part of this local law, or the application thereof to any person, firm, or corporation, or circumstance shall be adjusted by any court of competent jurisdiction to be invalid or unconstitutional, such order or judgment shall not affect, impair, or invalidate the remainder thereof, but shall be confined in its operation to the clause, sentence, paragraph, subdivision, or part of the local law, or in its application to the person, individual, firm, or corporation, or circumstance directly involved in the controversy in which such judgment or order shall be rendered. And therefore be it resolved that the Board of the Town of Champlain authorizes the tax cap override for 2025 under local law number 5 of 2024. And be it further resolved that a roll call vote is carried to approve said resolution, and a copy of this resolution is to be given to the Secretary of the Board. So, motion to approve, we'll do it by roll call, please.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 44 as read by the supervisor.
Okay.
Aye.
I vote aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And again, as I explained before, that is just in case we squeak over. Don't intend to. Next, I would hope there's not a lot of discussion on this, but did you see the agreement with the county for the next 3 years for our snow and ice season, for plowing for the county, on the county roads? forget what the total mileage was. Again, it's in that packet, it's on my desk.
Yeah.
It's standard, 3-year contracts with the county.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they've had before. They did give us a slight increase in the percentage increases, I think about 0.5% each year.
2.5%, 2.5%, and 3%.
Yeah, correct. Alan's happy with it. Just looking for your approval for Alan and I to sign it.
I guess I just don't understand the inequity between the actual regular rates and why Perry's Mills is so much higher.
Was that considered the,
I'm not sure.
Is it considered a snow belt?
Snow belt?
No, it's regular. There's only 2 here that are snow belt, and that's the Lake Shore,
Mhm.
the Shazy Town line, excuse me.
And Mason.
And also
Mason.
Mason, correct. Other than that, everything else is regular. But it's substantially higher than the other 3.
Is it the mileage? I wish I
No.
had my copy.
I don't know.
Should have,
That's a good question.
Doesn't it show the mileage in there, in each of those roads? Is this what you're looking at? Yeah, that's the center line miles.
So it's 4.48 miles.
Correct,
Okay. And
correct.
they're being charged at that regular rate. That's up
Correct.
above.
That's correct,
Okay.
yeah. So there's a total of 15.56 regular miles and there's 5.53.
So about $900 difference between the actual regular rate and the snow belt rate.
Yes.
Meaning they've gotta go over the snow belt rate, or they gotta go over the snow
Multiple
belt
times.
parts of the road multiple times.
Correct.
Yeah, so in other words, they found that the Lake Shore Road drifts and ices up consistently, so that there is considered snow belt, so it gets a higher rate. And they determined the same for the Mason Road. I will tell you that Alan's been arguing that Perry's Mills Road should be included in that, because the upper section where it comes around into the Morristown line is constantly drifted over. But he hasn't won that battle yet.
And their projection cost per gallon, how they can project it.
Yeah, and then they
It's
do.
It's gonna jump from 288 to 343 in April of 2025, I think.
But they do give us adjustments
They do,
when it goes above those rates,
right.
so. There's no
Not
serious.
much you can do.
No, I don't think it's worth like, going back and saying, no, your rates aren't.
Correct.
Let's put it this way. Years like last year, we made out of it.
That's correct.
So you gotta remember those gains. We had much snow last year. So anyways, motion to allow Alan and I to sign that would be appreciated. And you get a copy back for Mike.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Clinton County Highway Department's letter of intention for the agreement for 24 through 25, 25 through 26, and 26 through 27 for the snow and ice seasons as documented.
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay. We already did the inspections, so now we have the application for the ZBA alternate. We have the email that I provided you. And I met with Cody today, and I am perfectly fine with adding him to the board. He understands the duties that would be set forth in regards to following with state and local codes. He's very willing and eager to attend the trainings, which is awesome. We'll hold him for that. So, I'd like to appoint him if nobody has any objections. We'll simply do a motion in a second as we have before.
I'll make a motion to approve the appointment of Mr. Seymour as alternate to the zoning board.
Perfect, that's almost as written.
I'll second.
Perfect, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. So I've got his email address and his phone number for you. Louis, we can add him to the list. I told him he was welcome to attend the meeting next week and so on. Public meetings, and I explained to him that he can only be paid if he is needed on the board, but he's welcome to sit in the meeting. Correct?
Yep.
Okay, that brings us to old business. Tether-in-law, Rick, do you want to report to that or me?
You can report that, that's fine.
So it's been revised again. By the way, did you look at those revisions that were made?
Yeah, I think they look fine.
Okay. 'Cause I didn't see any correspondence from
No,
it, so.
no, I thought it looked fine.
It came back, it got presented to the county attorney, and she sent it back with some more suggested changes. Jennifer worked on it this weekend, provided it to Rick and I for review. I thought it looked fine, so it was being presented tonight, I believe, to the committee, or this afternoon to the committee meeting, and we'll go back to the attorney. Hoping to get in front of the legislative board at the next meeting. So that's the state of that right now. Any questions on it? No? Okay. Next, sign for Bob Ben Park. Can't wait to hear this one.
Well, so exciting.
Yes.
I did
Nice.
receive proofs from one of the companies for the larger sign that we're going to try to place near the entrance, the vehicle entrance to the park. We discussed that we might, we're still awaiting proofs for a smaller sign that we would put near the walking bike path. That sign gives more detail about who Mr. Ben was and why he wanted the park. I'm still waiting for quotes on both signs from this one particular company. I did not hear back from a second company. I emailed and phone called. And a third company that I looked at was way out of the park expensive, so,
No pun intended.
yeah, way out of the park, yes. So, I think we will probably, I haven't discussed it with Brian. I do have pictures on my phone, for the proofs, for the larger sign. I'd be happy to let you take a peek at it. So we're just, waiting to
Yeah,
get some
could
more
you-
information.
Could you email those to us?
I can?
That'd be awesome.
Mhm.
We could do, that'd be great.
Yeah, they're very nice, I like them. Color choices.
And are you open to suggestions from members of the board if there's any?
Sure, and we
Changes?
have to, put those proofs in front of the family too, that's donating money for the sign.
But I would
the final.
suggest if we have any comments or suggestions, to filter them all through
Sure.
Dorothea and Brian, and let them
Yeah, we'll take it
work on
back,
it from there.
and that's it. I'd be happy to send
Okay.
those along.
Great. Great. Any other business from the board? Okay, our next business meeting is scheduled for November 12th, 2024. And I welcome a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And a second that.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
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 None opposed?